Live from beautiful downtown Melmac, it's Alfsplaining! Tonight we look at Alf taking over a chat show with hilarious consequences, or Ben Baker as he's better known. And as for your host,
John Matthews,
here's Johnny!
See what I did there?
That was very clever, yeah, because my name's the same as Johnny Carson, sort of.
It is, and that's very important for today's episode of Alf, which we're going to look at, which went out originally in the Americas on October 24th, 1988, and its English title is Tonight Tonight. We're in Germany.
In Germany, it's interesting. Its German title is Tonight Tonight.
Oh.
Brackets, Teil 1 und 2, which means Tonight Tonight, parts 1 and 2.
You know, I suspected that might be those numbers. Because, of course, this was cut up for syndication, but when it went out originally, it was a 1 hour special.
There's an interesting fact on the German DVD insert here that the episode has never before been showed on German TV, so it doesn't have Tommy Piper doing any of the voices. It's in English only with German subtitles.
Okay. So I'm wondering if that's because, like here, they didn't really know the Tonight Show was in Germany, and so the kind of intricacies of that parody were lost.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me feel like I want to learn more about this subject. What is a Johnny Carson histo? If only we knew someone who might be able to magically appear right now to teach us more about this wonderful subject.
How about me?
Gosh!
It's respected TV critic and top songwriter Charlie Mason.
You got the name right.
You never thought we'd ever practice that before you came on as well?
I stand by not practicing anything ever.
I've noticed. I've seen you banned.
Thank you.
All right. So, Charlie, did you bring any clips?
No, I absolutely didn't bring any clips, but I'm a veritable font of knowledge about vague ideas of what the Tonight Show was.
So we thought we'd ask Charlie because if regular Alf fanatics, Alfsplain fanatics, I'll work on that later on. But he came on very kindly to talk about Gilligan's Island, which is a very American thing which didn't quite have much cultural impact here, and similar with the Tonight Show.
This is a thing. We are aware of American talk shows, and we're aware of Gilligan's Island, but it wasn't anything we were particularly expert on. And it's still a vague, mysterious world. Is this area of American talk shows late at night when everybody should be in bed? So we thought the only way we can get through this is with a real, live, genuine American to sort of talk us through it.
Well, can I ask you a question before we get into this?
Please.
I'm semi-familiar with some British talk shows. So you're telling me Graham Norton is not a late-night talk show?
Well, it is, but it's only once a week. But they did try it, because Graham Norton, when he was on a different channel, they did try him 5 nights a week, and it didn't take. We've had a lot of goes in this country, stuff like the Jack Doherty Show, and Tonight with Jonathan Ross, and various things, and we just don't have that people tuning in late night kind of thing.
Norton's on at 10:30, which is positively early for an American talk show, and it never goes on further than like 20 past 11 or anything like that. And it's very much something that you'd watch last thing at night, if that. Most British chat shows are tea time, the classic ones of the 80s.
So, like in 1988, our biggest chat show would have been Wogan at 7 p.m. 3 times a week, and that was the limit, and everyone thought he was on TV too much even then.
But I think his heyday was in the 70s, 80s. Like, it was the booking to get on the Tonight Show. And America sort of looked at it as a nightcap. Tonight Show was the first show that you wanted to book if you were a celebrity. You could go on Good Morning America. You could go on the Today Show in the daytime. But the one to go on was the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
It was just creme de la creme. And it was quite silly. It's actually quite in keeping with Alf's tenor. But the things that he would do, aside from the hosting, which was pretty tongue-in-cheek, he was a pretty fast guy, and Ed McMahon was a good foil for him. It was the sort of, they even make a joke about it in the Alf episode about their unscripted banter.
Yes. Well, as you say, you've got Johnny and Ed, so Johnny Carson, the big, obviously, host, and Ed McMahon appears in this Alf episode as the second banana as well. In fact, there's pretty much everyone from this era of the Tonight Show in it except Johnny. I'm guessing his time was far, far too expensive by this point.
I think Ed would generally do any show that would have him. Like, opening of an envelope, he was there. I mean, I I think this was right around the time he started doing the Publishers Clearinghouse commercials where he would just go to people's houses with balloons and a giant check. Anything to get his face on TV.
Like, I think most of our listeners will know what a Tonight Show kind of thing is. Something with a monologue up at the top and then a few guests and maybe a band.
No, and it becomes sort of like a Muppet Show of supporting characters. The band leader, Ed, other recurring people like Teresa Ganzel, who was one of his recurring guests, would come on as sort of the traditional Dizzy Blonde because every show had to have one, even if it was late night.
Yes, we do see her in one of the later sketches because Alf does a few of Johnny's bits, and that was very confusing to us.
The Karnak was something we were aware of through other cultural references and things like that.
Yes.
But the second sketch you did, what was the character's name? Ben, I've forgotten.
It was Art Fern. Well, no, see, he's basically like a pitchman for bad products in between an afternoon movie.
You know, you would get advertisements for the stupidest things like, oh, it's an iron that works on the power of a light bulb, stuff like that. Kind of stuff you could only advertise in the middle of a Godzilla movie marathon to 12-year-olds who would think this was a great idea. Or any adults who would possibly buy any things that were advertised, or who else would advertise at this time. Like, it was just kids vegged out, or seniors vegged out. Oh, there's a picture on the TV. That's good enough for me.
It's certainly a lot better than what we get now in Britain, which is basically, if you watch television any time before sort of 6 p.m, it's all adverts for sad donkeys, sad bears, sad children, sad everything that need money. It's just sad adverts for everything to make people feel guilty for watching television during the day.
If everything's sad, I have so much commercials for American bears, American antelope, American. They're not a cheerful lot right now.
No, that is very true. We're just we're very interested, I guess, in a lot of it because the cultural impact of the Tonight Show was huge and remains towering, doesn't it?
Yeah. America took to it as sort of a nightcap, like a thing to sort of it was never going to be too exciting to keep you up at night. So it was a nice way to sort of calm down after you watched your Kojak, your Beretta, or it was in the 80s, I guess, your Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Cool down before you go to bed. If you fell asleep before you found out who the last guest was, it really didn't matter.
No, I suppose, yeah.
You had 4 channels to choose from. So obviously Johnny's ratings were going to be huge just because if anybody's turning on the TV, there was a 1 in 4 chance people were going to be on him. Stuff like The Tonight Show solidified that late night hour as a viable programming option for networks. Whereas if it hadn't been for this phenomena at that time when there were so few choices, they probably would write it off as you would expect as, well, people are going to sleep. They're not going to be watching anything. But the audience was already trained to watch it. It's a little like the daytime soap operas here in America. Well, they became hugely popular when there were 4 channels. So, I mean, there were 20, 30 of them at a time at one point. And so now they're down to 4 or 5, but it remains an institution because it's a day part that is sort of established as there is the potential for recoupment of investment on this sort of thing. There is an audience for it. It's smaller, but it's reliable. The late night audience is also very reliable. It takes a lot to get canceled, I think, at late night.
Well, as we've recently found out, even over here in Britain, we've seen everything that's happened. Obviously, Stephen Colbert's recently had his late night show cancelled for dodgy political reasons. And then it looked like Jimmy Kimmel is on his way out as well. So that's 2 of the big rivals to the Tonight Show now, aren't they?
Well, Jimmy seems to have gotten a stay of execution, although what the terms of that stay of execution are, it's going to play itself out in the months and probably a year ahead. I don't know how long he's going to be able to last, but I hope he does. He's an actual force for good. And whereas Johnny was, just stick. He was in it for a buck. I don't think he took a stand on anything. Jimmy Kimmel is actually out there speaking truth to power and in humorous, pointed ways when he can.
And I think one of the strengths of this ALF episode is just how it shows the range of guests that Johnny used to have.
We always talk about the big celebrities that they had on The Tonight Show, right? Because he could get anybody, and did. But he also had a roster of reliable sort of backup guests that he could plug in at a moment's notice, like Joan Embry, who was on the ALF episode, who was basically Siegfried and Roy with less flashy costumes and more altruistic.
Yeah, she did confuse us a little bit. Yeah, because
Dr. Joy's brother, perfectly lovely, down-to-earth psychologist, sort of the anti-Dr. Phil. And she became a staple of not only his show, but the daytime talk shows in general. And she was so level-headed and unflashy. Like there was no gimmick really to her other than she knew her stuff and was extremely pleasant.
Yeah. Well, that was bloody lovely. Thank you so much, Charlie. Again, if there's anything you'd like to tell people about,
I write daily for soaps.com about the daytime dramas here in the States.
okay, that's quite
Soaps.com. Like EastEnders, but with fewer accents.
No.
Or if you're British and watching it, yes, it's EastEnders, but with accents because obviously I'm different from yours.
Yeah,
I don't watch EastEnders. I can't tell a word they're saying, quite frankly.
I'm depressed enough. I don't need the help. Charlie, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
My pleasure. Anytime. I can't wait to find out what I research next.
Well, you know what? It was a nice man. It was a nice man.
What a nice man.
He was a nice man.
What a nice and helpful man he was. I feel I know more about American talk shows now than I have ever done in my entire life.
Which is good because there's not a lot of meat on the bones for this one in particular.
No, it's a troublesome episode.
It's a clip show.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, the ratings for this one, 18.5 million, which put it 15th between Head of the Class and Empty Nest.
Right.
Two of those was also on over-here kind of import sitcoms. But because it was Spoopy Week, obviously, leading into Halloween, the 5th most watched programme was also on NBC and was Devil Worship Exposing Satan's Underground.
Oh, okay.
The Investigative News Group presents the Geraldo Rivera Special. Devil Worship. Exposing Satan's Underground.
Here's Satan. It's all over the United States and probably all over the world because it's just something that people are experimenting with now.
So this is a Geraldo Rivera special about Satanism.
It rings a bell. I might have watched that. Not on at the time. On YouTube, I mean.
Yeah, it's a bizarre... It's like that full satanic panic thing saying, oh, the kids, what they're into and all that sort of thing. And apparently, it did very well, but the advertisers went, no, thank you. We don't want to have anything involved with this at all. And, it's crazy. Ozzy's on there, basically saying, oh, Ozzy, like, why are you doing a bad Satan? And he's like, what you talking about? I know nothing about that. Oh, whatever. That might have been Roy Wood. But anyway, it's a oddly fascinating thing, and it is on YouTube. You can see it with its original adverts and everything. And I'll just use the word bollocks. It's bollocks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hokum and bollocks. In that way that Geraldo seemed to do very well.
He was so good at his hokum bollocks, wasn't he?
I mean, he probably still is, but I haven't been checking his bollocks for a while. I don't know what sort of condition they're in.
We'll check them out after this. After we recorded this podcast, we'll check out Geraldo's bollocks.
They'll be on Truth Social. You know they will.
Yeah.
The director of this episode, Bert Brinkhoff, a fine staple now of ALF.
Yeah.
And some very familiar names on the writing credits. Lisa Bannock, Steve Papoon, Al Jean and Mike Reese.
Well, this is going to be a corker then, isn't it? If they're back on board again.
All hardy veterans of the series, and we salute them for their service. And we spoke to Mike Reese about this particular one, as he was happy that he got to use jokes rejected from his time on the Real Life Tonight Show that he used to work on with Al a few years earlier.
Yeah, there were unused, rejected Karnak jokes, apparently, according to Mike. He also says that he chatted with the Pope John Paul double that they used in the show. It was an astounding resemblance, says Mike, and he got a lot of work doing the Pope. He'd been a factory guy in Michigan, and when he first noticed a young cardinal who looked like him.
That is actually from him. We asked him about this episode.
He was also talking about the Letterman parody that was in season 2 somewhere, whichever episode that was, the dream sequence thing, where he thought Max Wright's impression of Paul Schaefer was fantastic, and he thought it was the first ever David Letterman parody.
No, it's very possible.
So there's a fact for you.
Thank you very much to Mike for those. Genuinely, we emailed him, and that's the response.
We're dancing around this episode a lot, aren't we? We're chatting without actually really getting into it.
Well, here's the thing. So normally, when we have an episode where Alf is out of the house and other people are saying it's a dream sequence, but this one it immediately starts in with the titles to Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, with the actual theme to the Tonight Show and everything. And I checked I had a look to see what the titles were like for it in 1988, and this is bang on.
Oh, right, okay.
Just with Alf replacing Johnny. And yeah, it's really very much what the Tonight Show looked like and sounded like and everything. And I don't know if it is on the set of it or not, but if it isn't, it's a bloody good replica.
There's a big credit at the end saying thank you to the Tonight Show for the assistance or something like that.
Yes.
So I'm assuming they just barged in one afternoon and dicked around for an hour and then cleared out again. You should explain this is a clip show, so that it's the scaffolding around the clip show is Alf introducing clips, and the way they've done that is they've got him hosting the Tonight Show. It's not a dream sequence. It's not some sort of fantasy. He's actually doing it for some reason, and nobody seems to be whisking him away to the alien task force. So I can only assume it's Gordon Shumway, the actor, who is performing this.
Ed McMahon, who is Johnny Carson's sidekick, is actually on this episode. Helping Alf out, and he does keep referencing your sitcom that's on at 8 o'clock on a Monday night. I thought, well, it is Monday night, 8 p.m. They know that, Ed,
There's some very deliberately stilted plugs for the show, like they wanted to. They were using this clip show to plug the show, and sort of got a little bit embarrassed about doing it, so they did it in a slightly disconnected, ironic manner, as it were.
Yes, there is a lot of that. And even weirder is that Ed McMahon himself would end up in a weird twist of fate, becoming sidekick to Alf on his own short-lived 2004 hit talk show.
Alf, are you sure this is a good idea?
It's a comedy bit, Ed. In between my probing interviews with celebrities, we do these wacky stunts. All the talk shows are doing it.
We never did it on Carson.
You worked with Carson daily? I love him. Okay, Ed. 3, 2, 1. Fire in the hole!
Alf's Hit Talk Show, Friday nights at 11, only on TV Land.
Ed? Oh. You okay?
We'll cover that at some point in the future, I suggest. But this seems, therefore, like Paul Fusco is doing a sort of a backdoor pilot for the Alf Talk Show, just to prove the concept, really, prove it can be done.
And believe me, we've spoken a lot about Alf's backdoor during these episodes, but we're not going to do it for this series. It's tacky.
It's beneath us. It's beneath us.
And him.
But I thought, this is a slight aside to Alf's Hit Talk Show, but I always thought that when Alf is in charge, it doesn't kind of work. Alf should be the element of chaos in the thing.
Yes.
A talk show hosted by Willie, where Alf is the sidekick, sort of undermining everything Willie does, would be unbelievably funny. But Alf in charge with Ed McMahon as his sidekick, I don't know, it doesn't allow Alf to be funny, really. It doesn't play to his strengths.
So this is the thing, like, we do not meet any of the family. Other than in the clips, we don't see the Tanners at all. This is a pure Tonight Show thing with Alf. There are guests coming up. I would say it's very well done. In fact, I just want to play a little bit. They actually go from the Tonight Show theme to an Alf theme version in the same style, like big band.
It's great.
It's absolutely glorious. Compare that to the awful Series 3 theme tune. It's just...
I think that's the best I've heard it, and I include all the versions that we've done for this as well.
Oh,
I think that's the best I've heard the Alf theme tune. It's fabulous.
Yeah. So this is the basic setup. Alf comes out and, like Johnny, he's doing like a fun sort of monologue. And I would say he does quite well at sort of that. I assume what Johnny Carson does, he's doing a lot of specific kind of moves, isn't he?
I'm not like I say when we were talking to Charlie. I'm not that familiar with the Johnny Carson's oeuvre, as it were. So I don't know if these jokes were supposed to make any sense or whether they were just references to things.
No, I mean the jokes would normally be like topical stuff about the news that day. But it's kind of all the little moves that he does, little hands.
I wrote down he does a golf swing. Brackets. Is that a Johnny Carson thing?
I think it probably is.
The thing is, though, we do see a full body Alf.
Yeah.
When the curtains opened, my heart skipped a beat because I was worried we were going to get the midget in a suit out again. But no, it's just...
Yes, I did wonder how they were going to cover it.
It's a kind of a clever technical shot of a huge Alf with massive feet.
So he's like in a handsome sports coat, tying great pantage, but absolutely nothing covering those galumphing hooves, is there?
And he looks around, it doesn't look animatronic, it looks like he's actually being puppeteered, so it must have been a sort of clever two-split shot, or they managed to hide Paul somehow behind his massive feet.
Yeah.
But it's a striking image, and I liked it.
It is, and we're not entirely sure how they did this, because there are cut-ins that seem like the audience are actually responding to things that Alf is saying. But it's most likely they went to the Tonight Show and said, can we get some bits while the audience for the actual Tonight Show is in and cut in? Because I can't imagine you could have done all of that in front of an audience.
I did pause the DVD and look at the shots of the audience, just in case there was anybody we recognised in there, you know, like your Al Jeans or your Mike Reeses or something like that. Or maybe Brian had sneaked in or something like that. But I couldn't spot anybody, so it did look like just a generic Carson audience. But listener, if you know better, let us know.
Yeah, let us know on the old socials. Well, this is it. It's like the fact that there is no... Like, it's not like the Gilligan's Island one where it's like, oh, it's a dream or what have you. Or even... I suppose they didn't want to do another dream sequence so soon after the Angel one. But it's like they just thought, no, we're just going to do a Tonight Show parody. And as I say, Alf does these introductory gags, including one which alludes to Ed's occasional problems with the booze, which seems a little bit dicey. And then we meet Tommy Newsom, who was apparently the villain for the regular band leader, Doc Severinton. Clearly, Alf was not worth his parping time, which is a source of great sadness. And yeah, it looks right. That's the main thing. And so you kind of go with it, because it's like, all right, this is what an Alf episode or a hosting of The Tonight Show would be.
Yeah.
And then, weirdly, we get the actual title sequence.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
No, it cuts kind of away from the reality of it.
Yeah.
Such as it is. Yeah. But we do have these lovely interstitial cards of like Alf, of crossing out Johnny's name and stuff and doing various things like eating burgers and climbing
Empire State Building. We'll have screen grabs of these very heavily airbrushed images of Alf because they're really quite sweet.
As I said, when we come back from the titles, he's very much playing into that whole let's do it a bit ironic as Alf's up tapping away at his desk, drumming, and then says, I guess it must be time for a spontaneous, unrehearsed banter!
Yeah.
Which is like, you're having your cake and eating it again a little bit here, which is fine, that's kind of like we're very used to that now. We're very used to the kind of like undermining the traditional chat show.
Pricking the pomposity.
Yeah. Post Larry Sanders, I think definitely we're very used to that. But in this case, I don't know if it's quite new almost.
Yeah, no. Him saying now time for our spontaneous unrehearsed banter would have been very funny to me at the time. It's the sort of thing we would say at school, we would in an ironic arch manner.
Yes. And it is very much the tone, yeah. Because the banter between Alf and Ed McMahon is sort of awkward, but I guess it's that kind of... Ed McMahon isn't a comedy actor, but I think he gets his role here. He gets that he has to be the fusty sort of... He has to be the Willy, effectively, of this thing, and it doesn't massively work, I would say that. We have his first clip package, all stuff from Season 2, pretty much. We're not going to really dwell on those. And then Alf shows photos of roles he didn't get.
Oh, yeah.
all of which are screenshots from Series 2 episodes. So, like, him as a monk is, I auditioned as Obi-Wan Kenobi, etc. It's like, getting the money's worth out of it. But then Ed McMahon goes, I think those look like some screenshots from the sitcom's Alf, Monday 8 p.m. It's like, good. Great. Take it to thanks.
Yeah, so then we dive into some more clips because of that. And so far, we haven't had much clips in this. There's been a lot of original material in this episode to say it's a clip show, but I assume, seeing as though there's only one set and they're just there, it was probably still quite cheap to do. Because this next bit is the Karnak bit that we mentioned earlier, and this lasts 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, so obviously, as we did previously discuss, Karnak is the sort of this psychic who divines the answers to questions in a sealed envelope, but obviously he's Melmac the Magnificent. And I love the fact that Ed isn't comfortable at all with Alf nicking Johnny's bit, but he sort of has to go along with it.
The vibe seems kind of like that Alf has parked himself behind Johnny's desk without telling anybody, and he's rummaging through the drawers, finding all Johnny's bits for upcoming shows and just doing them.
Not old Johnnies, though.
Oh!
I'm fairly sure there were no old Johnnies.
If there were any old Johnnies, it would have been edited out. They wouldn't have that. No.
Few I say. So, yeah, we have more banter, as Ed says, they need to bring out the first guest. And as we've already set up, this is meant to be the Pope. It's that classic gag of, we've got an amazing guest, but we're not going to get to him. You know what's coming.
Well, there is a line that Ed says, which is one of those great, a classic Alf line that couldn't be in any other sitcom. When Ed says, Alf, you should bring out the Pope first, which I really enjoyed.
But instead he brings out Dr. Joyce Brothers, a popular TV psychologist who'd been on The Tonight Show many, many times. And he hilariously thinks he's booked Dr. Ruth, the midget German sex expert.
Now, the thing is about this, I was also expecting Dr. Ruth. When she came out, I thought, I don't know who that is. And then Alf goes, who are you? And I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm not American. I'm not familiar with all these references. But Alf should have known who she was, shouldn't she? But the fact that we both didn't, we both me and Alf were expecting Dr. Ruth, added an extra layer to the joke that made me chortle.
And I would like to know why he's booked Dr. Ruth, the dirty bollocks. The whole point is, obviously, the guests come on and they always have clips to show. But they don't have clips, so Alf just goes, oh, show some more of mine. And after that, she tries to analyse him, but he won't listen, so she leaves.
He spouts a load of that sort of trite pop psychology in reverse at her, and she storms off.
Yeah. So when she goes, the producer comes on, and this is the actual real producer of The Tonight Show, Fred DeCorva.
Yeah.
Who apparently occasionally was on screen.
You should paste in the dialogue because it's great. It goes, uh-oh, here's the producer.
Oh, hi, Freddie. It's Fred DeCordova, executive producer of The Tonight Show.
ALFer, Pope John Paul.
Fred, John Paul Jones. Your turn.
And it's like, they didn't even try to sort of blend that line into the script. Let's just tell them. Let's explain what's going on. There's no need to just get any deeper than that. A very old man with glasses comes out. The gigantic glasses as well.
They are very bad. I mean, think William G. Stewart, peak era on that's kind of what he looks like. That's kind of his vibe, isn't it?
Mixed with Harry, what's his name, off of Brookside from the early years.
Oh, Harry Cross, yeah.
Yeah.
So he says, why aren't you bringing out the Pope? And he's like, oh, I will in a minute. He says, you won't get paid. And Alf goes, oh, here's the Pope. And then, of course, the Pope doesn't come out because he's doing a big piss.
Well, you know, they said he'd drunk a lot of coffee, so it could be piss or it could be diarrhea.
That is point. I assumed front, but you know what? That is on me.
Yeah.
I apologise for making such a jump.
I just wrote on my notes here, Pope's having a shit. And, you know, quite frankly, that sums up this podcast, really. The fact I can write those 4 words down.
Do Pope shit?
They must.
Write in and tell us.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest with you, there weren't a lot of big laughs for me in this one. There wasn't really many. But this next bit was great, because you used to have a bit called Stump the Band.
Yeah.
Where basically audience members would try and get the band, stump the band basically, shouting out titles. And I think the joke was kind of like they never knew the song, so they just invented one of the time. And Alf says this.
Oh, I know. Let's play Stump the Band. You hold down the band, I'll saw off their legs.
Oh, my.
Yes, that's a good gag.
That's great. So Joan Embry of the San Diego Zoo comes out with a cat. You'll never guess what Alf wants to do to it.
Yeah, he wants to consume the cat. Yes. It turns out the cat is Lucky. Rather heavily sedated Lucky. It looks like either that or Lucky's been on the pop all afternoon.
Yeah, but it is indeed Lucky, because they then cut to like a package of clips around him and Lucky, and it is the same cat, isn't it? It's definitely. Or maybe they're just very good at replacing dead pets. I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't go well, obviously. And she storms off. And as he reacts, Alf breaks Johnny's beloved cup. So there's a cup on the desk at all times. And I looked up a 1988 episode of The Tonight Show, and indeed it is there.
Oh.
It is on his desk.
Oh, right.
It is there. So, like, if you're a regular watcher, you would get all this stuff. And because he breaks it, the phone goes, and the producer comes in to say it's Mr. Carson, and he's not happy. And if it's the sort of two-part version, that's where they sort of end it, like as a cliffhanger, like Johnny Carson's going to come and kick his head in.
Yeah, we don't hear Johnny. I mean, Johnny couldn't even bother to like do a little voiceover for the phone or anything like that.
No. So we have more clips under the heading of trouble. More clips that aren't interesting as such, except one of them is a deleted scene.
This is interesting, yeah, because we get a load of the clips, and then there's all sorts of various sort of smashy clips edited in time to the music.
Yeah.
And one of them, he yanks on a rope, and the ceiling comes down. And
yeah, and on the dining room table, doesn't it? It's not much. It's just Kate yells and he does this, and that's it. That's all you get.
Yeah, and I mean, I assume it's from an unseen episode or an outtake, because Brian does appear to be laughing in this clip as well.
Yeah, that's kind of the most interesting thing of the clips. It's all well picked and everything, but there's no point us discussing them again.
Oh, no.
We did a series of that.
They picked some of our favourites, though, our favourite clips throughout the episode, including the one where Willie gets twatted with a bread roll, which always makes me laugh.
And Alf getting yeeted across the room by the
explosion. Yes, that's one of them, yeah.
Always good, yeah. So we basically get a weird package of clips of Alf being sent out of the room. It's like they're desperately looking for links to put together. So. And that's because when we return, Alf has left the room and come back in the outfit of another Johnny Carson character. This is ALFer, a fast-talking shiller of terrible products.
Oh, is that what he was?
Yeah.
I didn't really quite understand what was going on here.
Yeah, he's just doing another Carson impression. And he brings out a lady with him, who's called the Matinee Lady, to assist him. And she's apparently the actual one from the Carson show. So it's just everyone but Johnny has turned up, basically.
Yeah.
Friends, are you getting too fat for things you used to fit in, like your house? When you get on the scale, does it say, get off the elephant first? Does your sunken chest appear on pirate treasure maps? Then come to our health club. Pecs are us. At Pecs are us, we'll tone up your muscles while we slim down your wallet.
And, Ed looks appalled that he's doing this. Fair. So when Alf returns to his desk, he does call Ed Oedipus.
I like that.
Good. And we get a bunch of wacky Melmac clips. And then it's time for the Pope. No, it's more clips. It's more clips.
Yeah,
at which point, the impressionist Rich Little turns up to take over hosting. Apparently, Johnny's rung him up to take over. And I'll be honest with you, I know the name Rich Little. I've heard his voice and stuff like that. I'm not sure I knew what he looked like.
No, I don't know if that Rich Little was what I was expecting. We weren't really given enough time to see him without Alf going, hey, it's Rich Little or whatever. But yeah, he turns up. I've written down, Rich Little's shown up for some reason. Pause. Oh, it's to do a terrible impression of Johnny Carson. And then you kind of wonder why, if he's doing an impression of Johnny Carson, he didn't do an impression of Johnny Carson on the phone earlier. That might have been a nice linking bit.
Yeah, that's a good point, that, isn't it? Yeah. You think that's going to be it. There's going to be some sort of drama here, but now we just have a final set of clips, and then they go, oh, I haven't brought the Pope out. And, of course, the Pope comes out as they run out of time, so he can't speak, which is good, because, as you say, he's where's he from? Jersey.
Yes, I want it.
So it's like, the Pope to go, hey, how you doing there, Al?
Michigan he was from.
Michigan, I don't know how to do Michigan.
Go on, try.
No, I genuinely don't. I have no idea. I can't even. I'm sorry, Americans. I don't know where it is. I don't.
It's somewhere in the middle, isn't it?
I assumed that, but yeah, again, I don't know how to do a middle impression.
It's somewhere near the back.
I'm sure they'll be delighted to hear that. And that's it. The show runs out of time. And for once, we actually get the credits rolling over more footage. And it's basically everyone just despairing at a bewildered, I'm not especially bothered Alf, who just continues drumming with his pens at his desk.
Yeah, we get some stuff, the red phone makes an appearance again, and the Rich Little does a bit of mugging. And it's all as you'd expect, really. From anything, any comedy you've ever seen where they keep going under the titles, it's just like that.
Yeah. And that's it. That is the end. As I said, that is an hour of American television with adverts, and a lot more clips in the second half. Obviously, we've done it as the original showing, because otherwise it would be very, very short.
It's a quirk, and an interesting quirk at that, this episode. But I watched it twice to in preparation for this podcast, and I don't really want to watch it ever again, quite frankly.
No, it doesn't. It's a fun sidebar sort of thing. But again, all I could think of, like you said earlier, is like, this would be so much funnier if the family were involved, if like Willie was the host, or Brian was a sidekick even, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, there's a myriad of ways you could go about doing this, and they didn't.
But, you know, as clip shows go, and again, clip shows is something we're not particularly well versed with in the UK, apart from seeing Simpsons ones and stuff like that. But as they've had to do a clip show, I assume due to the writer's strike and delays and stuff like that, it could have been done a lot worse. It's quite a good idea for a clip show, and it's been done with a degree of competence that I think is you've got to give them some respect.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But because it's not a usual episode, we've got no top willies or what have you. I mean, MVP, I get to the Pope, you know, just in case, chance me arm. Mainly because I feel bad for that bloke, because when that Pope died, like, he's gone. It's like Jeanette Charles.
Yeah.
You know, when the Queen went, that were it. You know, she had to die as well. That was the law.
Weren't they buried together?
They were on top of each other, kissing. Like the front cover of Suede's debut album. So, sorry, we ran out of time for Matt Damon. We'll try and get him back next week, as that is the end of this ALFsplaining. Thank you so much for listening, and a special thanks to Charlie for joining us, just explaining a little bit about all this nonsense.
But, you know, this was a bit of a breather, wasn't it? A bit of a change, bit of a change of pace for the old listeners there to this, and.
If you would like to kickstart my new series with Norman Pace called A Change of Pace, please do write to any of our social medias. We're on Facebook and Blue Sky and Instagram, and of course Patreon with ALFsplaining Extra, where we dive into all other bits and bobs of Alf's world.
Recently we've been looking at deviant art. We've been going through a selection of your pictures that you've sent in to deviant art. And very good they are too.
That's how it works.
Hey!
Ta-ra.
Bye everybody.
What show's that, Ed?
Wow, right here on NBC, 8 o'clock on Monday nights.
Oh, that show! Thanks.